Hi there. Welcome to another exciting edition of Cambridge Inside Out. My name is Robert Winters.
And I'm Judy Nathans.
And how do you do? Today is May
10th?
10th, 2016.
Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, May
Yes,
10th.
it is. Right, yeah.
Okay.
And let's see. So what do we got on tap for tonight here?
Well, let's see. Council, budget, you've got a whole bunch of
few
stuff
things
there
that are
we'll
coming
talk
along
about,
here.
yeah.
So actually been kind of an interesting week for those of us who enjoy civic affairs. I think for me, one of the, actually several, it's like 3 consecutive days of really amazing things. Some of which you folks out there may not find so amazing, but I do. Actually went to some of the budget hearings on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Had to go teach my classes, so I could only stay for a little while. But it was kind of fun,
Was that May 5th? Yeah.
Thursday, May 5th, and then there's
so that
more.
was the first of the hearings?
Yeah, and there's more coming. Actually, the school, for those interested in school department
Right.
budget, their finance committee hearing is happening 6 o'clock tonight.
That's a dedicated budget.
Yes, that's
right?
very, very specific, just to the school department.
But where they usually meet, because that
I
is
think
the
it's-
regular night.
I think this is at Sullivan Chamber.
So it's in City Hall?
Yeah, I think, believe so. So that's kind of a big deal.
Better get over there,
Yeah,
a few minutes.
yeah, and don't, and I'm pretty sure that's at the Sullivan Chamber.
But you could just check on your
You can
phone
go,
or something.
yeah, you can
right.
just figure that one out. One of the things that I enjoy about going to these budget hearings is it's the one opportunity where the various city departments have to come through and they kind of strut their stuff. Most of them just get waved through. They don't even have to do a hearing, but some of them do.
Talking about the department heads.
Yeah, department heads and some of the staff people. And I know a lot of these people,
Right.
so for me, when I go to these hearings, while they're waiting for their hearing,
Yeah.
it's always a
Catch
great
up
time to
and-
catch
yeah.
up. And a lot of these folks are my friends. So, there are several people like, Jack Albert from the police department and, bunches of other folks. Chatting with, or Mark McCabe, who's from the Animal Commission. So I enjoy sitting with them.
He's nice. I like
And
him.
it was actually the next to last day on the job for Police Commissioner Robert Haas.
Oh,
and
he's
he-
already gone?
Yeah, so he was there, and so I got to personally thank him for being
nice.
such a
Nice.
really good police commissioner. And also we learned that who the acting commissioner will be is Chris Burke for the time being. Actually, just to kind of jump ahead a little bit on city council matters, Richie Rossi at last night's city council meeting did mention that he's not going to make a decision right away on who will be the permanent police commissioner down the road. He's actually decided to leave that to whoever succeeds him as city manager, which I thought was a rather thoughtful way to be.
Right.
Though I would have been totally comfortable with the decision that Richie
Yeah.
might have made in this, but they're going to cast the net far
So
and
that's
wide.
not the same process as selecting a city manager. It's a
No,
different-
because the thing
He
is,
appoints the-
the city council doesn't play a role in the choice of department heads, including the police commissioner or the fire
Oh, I
chief.
did not know that. So that's true with the library and
Yes,
the
yeah.
recycling and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
the city manager is the appointing authority,
okay.
manages the cities.
So all those department heads.
yeah.
But he's usually given recommendations.
Sometimes, I think unofficially, it's
Yeah.
not really any part of the process. I think if an elected official were to, have a good lead on somebody who would be great, they would certainly, nothing would prevent them from, putting a bug in the ear of the city manager, and the manager
Well,
would.
he has to base it on something. I mean, he may not be familiar
Well,
with
I mean,
who's
the thing
in
is,
the running
is
for those things.
They advertise the positions,
So within the
resumes come in.
department, they advertise it, they get the resumes, and so they look at it first. Or does the city?
It really depends. If you're talking
Yeah.
about a department head, then that
Like
would
the
go.
library, I'm thinking. Is the trustees have anything to do with it?
I
board?
don't know for sure, but probably not.
Really?
Yeah, ultimately it's the city manager. I
Well,
think if-
ultimately, but
Yeah, I think if city manager's a wise person, city manager
we'll consult.
will consult and and
Right.
take into account the
Right.
advice of those who are actually in a position to know something.
That I guess that's what I'm leading to. Yes, because
Yeah.
they can't be expected to be wise on all kinds of things like that.
Exactly, and
right.
and there is, I guess, what you could call the nuclear option is really what the council has. Ultimately, the council hires or fires the city manager, and if a
Okay.
city manager was appointing
People they
circus
really
clowns
don't- yes,
to the department
then they-
heads, ultimately the city council could just throw the manager out.
Can they at any time, even
At
if they
any
have a
time.
contract?
Yeah, they still have to meet the conditions of the contract. They would
I
have
see.
to, if they have to pay it perhaps, but, it says it's very explicitly in the planning charter that the city, contract or not,
Yeah.
the city manager serves at the pleasure of the city council.
Sounds like the people that had baseball teams. If their team, I mean, really, they have contracts, but if people are the people that own it can say, out you go.
Ultimately, they would have that authority.
And sometimes
so.
they have to pay off their contract.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's
And and it's
interesting.
sort of a dilemma, a political dilemma, because city councilors, even if they have that authority, if 85 or 98% of what a city manager does is great, and you
Right.
absolutely hate the 2% of what the manager does,
Right.
it's kind of hard to make the case to sort of
Right.
out the manager based on
Yeah.
the few
It hasn't
tiny
happened
things.
either in your history of it.
Oh, it has happened, but
Oh,
it not
not
for a
in our
good long
lifetime.
while. I mean, Bob Healy was in there for 30 plus years.
Oh, There's always kind of mini revolts.
Yeah, but there was James Lee O'Sullivan was ousted and
Oh.
replaced by, let's see, forgetting his name now.
When was
but-
this? So before our time?
Yeah, before time,
Okay.
and then he was brought back,
Oh,
and there was real political conflict.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
mean, I do worry about that.
Yeah.
I tend to lean toward preferring stability
yes.
at the top.
Absolutely.
You know,
You're right.
and so anyway, but that's me. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see in
So-
November. Civility at the top.
So
Oh,
anyway,
my God.
these budget hearings are for me really kind of they're like a gift because I get to go there and people are, because they're primed for their hearings, they're quite willing to talk about hardcore things within the departments. So there was a number of departments that got pulled. I won't go through all the whole list of them here, but
Anything noteworthy?
well, the big ones that were up were the police department. Information technology is kind of a big thing because I think this, trying to make things more user-friendly for the
Yes.
general public.
Right.
And having lots of little apps and things is sort of very much in vogue. So they're pretty much guaranteed to have their budget pulled and discussed
Yeah.
and whatever. And as as we've said on this program
Yeah.
before, the councilors are really only supposed to talk about the financial aspects of things,
Yeah,
but
they tend to talk.
Oh,
about-
they get totally lost in the weeds.
So some of the counselors are there, or all of them? It was during the day.
I
right?
don't
Yeah.
think they were all there. I did write down somewhere else who was there. I think it was at least one counselor, maybe two, who were not there. But I'm not going to rat them out just now.
Well, again, it's during the day, and some counselors have
Yeah,
their jobs.
yeah, and they may show up later in the day, and I couldn't stay the whole time.
It's all day, right?
It doesn't have to be, but I think they didn't really wrap up until like 3 in the afternoon.
Sounds like all day.
Which is longer. I think I'm just looking at what's on tap for this Thursday and the particular departments,
Oh, yeah,
other
we're
than
on that.
Public Works and a few
Public
others.
Works, that's Thursday?
Yeah, so they're up on Thursday, and I think there are a few that are up this week on Thursday. Again, the hearings start at 9 a.m. and you can make public comment at the very beginning,
Oh.
and then they provide opportunity at the very end of the meeting. But of course, you don't necessarily know when the very end of the meeting is unless
True.
you want to hang
I
out.
didn't know that they had public comment.
Yeah, but some of the departments that are up for this Thursday are Public Works, the Water Department, Community Development Department. I'm just mentioning a few here. There's a lot of the various commissions, like Human Rights Commission, Police Review Advisory Board, Peace Commission. They're all up there. I think the ones that will probably be pulled, I'm guessing, would certainly be Community Development Department, if for no other reason than the fact that we're embarking on the Envision
Many-
Cambridge
right,
thing.
Yeah.
So that's...
I think maybe Public Works. Because
Public
it's-
Works is almost always pulled, even if
especially with
only to say, oh, we love you, Public Works, you're so wonderful, thanks for the recycling, and da-da-da. They
No, I
do
don't know.
that.
There's things going on though. A lot.
No,
Yeah.
true, and I think this time because of
Yeah.
the bring your own bag ordinance and the
curbside
upcoming
compost.
the curbside composting and the upcoming polystyrene ban, which is set to go into effect in
October, but
October.
I don't think that's on any of their minds, frankly. That's
It isn't,
unfortunate,
but actually, I did see a notice this
What?
week
You
from,
did?
it was a notice from the Economic Development Division people
of
the Community Development Department, basically soliciting input from various businesses about the proposed polystyrene
now
ban
why
from
are
restaurants.
they doing it and not
Well, I think they're just sort of trying to collect information and
I hope they're
feedback.
communicating with the Recycling Advisory
I
Committee.
think they will.
Meeting.
I
Okay,
think they will.
I'm glad
So-
you told me that.
Yeah, so I
I'll
saw
do
that this week, and I think that would be
Very
it's sort of-
beneficial, because they've
yeah.
been kind of left out of the discussion.
Yeah, so I think they're doing it exactly right. If there are some
Right.
tweaks to be made,
Good.
hopefully some advice will come back, and we'll see that happen. You know, Public Works sometimes when they get, I mean, years ago, when they would do budget hearings, if Public Works had their budget pulled, it was basically so people could gripe.
Right.
And
You
they
didn't
s-
fix this pothole. You
Yeah,
didn't
why
do that.
isn't this
Yeah.
street paved and
Right,
da 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 da.
right.
But and some of that still happens,
Yeah.
sure. But for the
And
most
also
part,
tree stuff is out of that division, right?
that's right, parks and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
forestry. So trees are, that's sort of one of those real bread and butter things
Mm-hmm.
where if you're an elected official and you want to sort of show your potential voters how much you care,
Oh.
you talk about trees. Cable
Yep.
television was another such thing.
Oh, right.
Because these are things that are very tangible for
Right.
people.
Yeah.
And anybody I think understands politics 101 knows that you want to, if you want to take it to the voters, you have to bring it on the terms that they're familiar
But it
with.
especially happens more in an election year, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But things like traffic, parking, trees, cable television,
Sure.
you
Directly
know,
affect impact, yeah.
consumer, things
Right.
that are really consumer level
Right.
type stuff are there.
Interesting.
I mean, I'll say though, over the years when recycling, I don't know, I don't think there was that much resistance really about recycling
Yeah.
when it was first instituted within Public Works. There were some. I think some of the guys who drive in the rubbish trucks probably thought they were going to be taking their jobs away.
Right.
And they kind of protested accordingly. But for the most part, recycling arriving in Public Works was like a public relations blessing for the Public Works Department. Honestly, having the recycling drop-off center in the Public Works yard
Yeah.
is like an intro to Public Works. It gives, I think, everybody a sense of the value that they do. That they have for the city, and it's
Yeah.
been, I think, a public relations bonus for them all around.
That's true, yeah.
And a lot of times when you go to these, I think it was Sheila Russell when she was on the council. She says she made a joke one time. I think if I'm remembering this correctly, when the Public Works budget was being discussed, they said, Mr. Commissioner, this has been quite a love fest, hasn't it been? They were just heaping nothing but thank
Yeah.
you and praise on the Public Works
We'll see
Department.
what
So,
happens this year.
yeah, we'll see. It's like these things
Yeah.
do change over time.
There's no order, you don't know the order they're going to go in.
They do put down an order, and they have every right to deviate from it.
I see.
While I was there on Thursday, they pulled, I don't know, maybe about 9
I
or
see
10
that they're
budgets.
listed first here, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Public Works, unless there's some change, would probably be right up on first. There was a problem on Thursday. There was the school bus crashed in the I-93
Oh,
and blocked everything. So there were
Oh,
people who
right.
were coming in from out of town who were supposed to be there for the budget hearings who
Oh, you're
couldn't be
kidding.
there on schedule. So they were rearranging all.
coming in from out of town.
Yeah, some people who, at least one department head I know lives in
Yeah.
Bedford and couldn't get down right away, so
Yeah.
it was delays. I mean, she eventually got down there, but that was fine. So I'm pretty sure they passed every budget without any amendments at
Oh,
all.
okay.
That's usually how it works. So anyway, so that was
Now,
Friday.
Friday. all
Friday
right.
was the outstanding awards
Oh, right, you
in
went to
city
that,
employees,
yeah.
and I went to
Make
that.
it, yeah.
And I thought, this will last an hour and a half. I was there for 3 hours.
What?
Well, it wasn't just the awards, which were wonderful.
Again, there's people you knew.
A lot of people I know
Yeah.
there, but it was a lot of just chatting with people and then just chatting afterwards as well. It was really
Yeah.
great. And the one award that they hadn't announced in advance was the one that's dedicated to Brian Murphy.
Oh, right.
I forget the exact title of it, but it's sort of a special award. And there's been only one recipient. Last year was Owen O'Riordan, Commissioner of Public Works. And as I was walking over to the award ceremony, I was thinking to myself, I wonder who's going to get the
Yeah.
award. And I thought to myself, let's see, it could be sort of like a nice little acknowledgement of the job Bob Haas did as police commissioner on his last day on the job.
And that was
his
it?
last. No, it wasn't.
Oh.
So I thought to myself, I think they'd rather do it to a continuing employee. And as I'm walking down, I said, I think they'll give it to Ellen Seminoff from Human Services Program.
Huh.
And sure enough,
Wow.
Ellen Seminoff.
Wow, you called it.
And it was fun because, before the award ceremonies were still going on, and they have a plaque right outside the Ackerman Room in City Hall that has it says the Brian Murphy Award and the names of the recipients, and it was just Owen O'Riordan's name on there.
Oh.
During the award ceremony,
Somebody put it up.
somebody at City Hall actually went up there and affixed Ellen Semenoff's name as a and it was funny. And I looked at, wow, look at that. I snapped.
Temporarily, because
No.
Oh.
It's like they punch it in and permanently.
Wow.
And there it was, and I looked and I
Yeah.
said, "Whoa!" So I snapped a photo, and I saw Ellen. I said, "Ellen, come here, check this out.
Yeah.
You got your name up already." And she
That's
was like,
amazing.
she was
Yeah.
very, very happy.
Yeah.
With it. It was very nice.
Huh.
But anyway, loved it. And in addition to that, at the very end, the city employees, basically, I don't know who made the decision to do this, but they took out time to. It's not an official award or anything, but basically to single out Richard Rossi,
Oh, nice.
who has worked for the city in
Right.
various capacities
Right.
going back a long time
And who's leaving?
as an outstanding city employee.
That's nice.
And it was a really nice, touching capstone
Nice.
to the affair. It was great.
Very nice.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I was getting very choked up
Oh.
at that. And then, if I didn't
Yeah.
get choked up enough of that, then Saturday rolls around.
Oh, MIT.
Right. So first, it's the
Yeah.
Jane Jacob walks, where Charlie Sullivan
that.
from
Yeah,
the
I didn't
Star
do that,
Commission gave a wonderful tour of Old Cambridge, Harvard Square, out some of the a lot of the history. It was really great. I mean, you can't lose when Charlie Sullivan's giving
Yeah.
a historical walk. You cannot lose.
Right.
And,
How often does he do that?
it's not on schedule. It's just if there's
Once a year? Or no?
I think these Jane Jacob walks have actually been once a year, but Charlie does some other ones as well.
We'll have to
He's done some for Central
they
Square.
should get on their mailing list, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Historical
no,
Commission.
it's really great. And then afterwards, it was moving day at MIT,
Yes.
and you were there as well.
Yeah, well, just for probably the wet part of it. You were there for the night.
It was a little drizzly
Yeah.
rain, but it was classic MIT. They had.
Yeah.
And again, I neglected to. I took a lot of photos. They
Yeah,
should have
you
been
did.
here.
Beautiful
we
photos.
should
You
have
could
been
have looked
showing
at them
them.
instead of us, but
Right.
hey,
Please, I'm a fool. I apologize
next week we'll just
profusely.
flash
I'll do
them.
what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the ingenuity of MIT students creating rafts.
they had like floats and things.
Yeah,
Well,
floats
there's also
coming
there was
across.
water activities, and then there was the
They were
people
coming
marching
over the
from
bridge.
Boston
There
to-
was the
librarians,
robotic
yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
The librarians put together a really
yes,
nice
that was one of the
piece.
first. Yeah,
There were all sorts of wonderful things, and actually, the whole thing was led by Oliver Smoot.
in an open convertible.
in an open red
1940 something.
That's right. And it was
I
really
caught
lovely.
that. That's what I caught.
It was great.
Yeah.
A friend of mine came, who actually works in the president's office at MIT, came down, and she was wearing the garments of a 1916-esque suffragist.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I called her out, and she would not come out of character.
Oh, right. You told me. Yeah, that's
So
great.
my name is
Yeah.
Catherine such and such.
Yeah.
And because the suffragist movement was very big in the 19-teens.
Huh.
Right, 1916
Right, that's true.
when MIT moved over.
Right, because women didn't have a vote yet. Right.
That's right. That didn't happen until I think 1920 election.
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah, so that was very much in keeping
Nice.
with the year. So that was wonderful. Ray.
I saw him,
Tom and Ray.
Magliazzi.
Of
What
Car
was
Talk.
that vehicle?
It was a tread vehicle.
It was on like track, like a kid's. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looked like one of the devices they used to have on Lost in Space, actually.
Yeah, it was
Right.
like it was funny because he came by and he starts shaking back and forth to imitate what it's like to ride in that thing because I guess it was very bumpy.
Yeah,
You know, it was like these things, so it was funny.
So that was
Yeah.
great. I mean, I saw so many friends who I hadn't seen in ages at
Wow.
this. People who I knew when I was a graduate student there, people who I've
Huh.
just known over the years.
You're talking about later when you went to the pageant?
During the parade,
Okay.
actually, I saw tons of people I know. And then afterwards, and then there was a very nice little, reading of a proclamation with Mayor Simmons.
Right. You have
And
a nice
President
photo
Rice.
of her. Just imagine it in her
Yeah,
red
you-
outfit. It was
Right,
really nice.
we'll make it available
Right.
shortly.
Right.
With Denise
Well, you
Simmons.
can put it on your website.
Oh yeah,
You would see it before.
I should have already done it, but I got to work for them.
Right, exactly, right.
But it was great, and not only was that great, but afterwards, well, I went home for a little bit, but then they had this pageant toward nightfall. It was in the Killian Court, which is the big court that faces toward the river,
Right.
and it was just dazzling.
I heard it, and I heard that there were lights on top of the dome in it, but I just didn't.
It was classic
Have the
MIT,
house.
you know, right,
Yeah.
if you face the dome at MIT, right underneath says Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So what they did is with laser lights, they had that all spelled out, and then they would just rearrange the letters with the light show
Yeah.
into all these funny.
Were people yelling it out so that people knew?
No.
Or you just had
They
to
would
pay
just
attention?
rearrange them all, and they would
That's funny.
shuffle the letters.
Yeah.
And it was like I thought it was a really the ultimate celebration of the tradition of MIT hacks.
Yes.
To do things like that, if they could possibly rearrange those letters that
Sure.
are carved into the stone, they would.
So were there dances and
And they
different
had
things going on?
dancers.
Was it stages?
There was one big stage
Yeah.
right in the middle of the courtyard.
So people were basically standing around, right?
You know, the motto is, I guess it's mens et manus, like mind and hand
mind
for
and hand,
MIT,
right, yeah.
which is kind of to contrast the sort of the industry aspect of engineering together with the more theoretical.
Right.
And MIT is very rich in both.
Exactly.
So they turned it into a drama of, you know,
I
a
see.
woman playing the engineering aspect and this man who looked sort of Isaac Newton-ish.
Right.
Basically, they looked just like the characters on the MIT logo. Acting it out, and they were like arguing out, you know,
wow.
which is better, men's and manus.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
eventually they brought in, like, I forget, a dozen or more of these gigantic bobblehead characters of some well-known MIT faculty and alums over the years, and then they battled it out.
Okay. Oh, those are the photos. Okay, now I understand how they were used.
Yeah, and it actually culminated in a really
Yeah.
great message, which was it's not just mind and hand, but
It's
mind
together.
and hand and
Right.
heart.
And
they
heart, oh, right,
really
yeah.
emphasized the notion of MIT as a major player in the world, making the world a better place. And I thought it was a really, really nice statement that they made. And
They've done some great things. I mean, the open house they had, you know, during the science.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And anything else planned over there? I mean, I know they have to graduate.
not so much as
students.
that's coming
Yeah.
up next, right? But
Yeah.
so they did the pageant. They had a big fireworks display.
Yeah, I heard it from my house. I
Right.
didn't see it. Yeah.
And then right after that, everybody went to, it was 4 or 5 different venues at MIT campus of
Oh, that was for
dance
the dancing.
parties.
Yeah, till midnight.
And they were good, and they were
Yeah? You
packed.
went to those?
I went to 2 of them. I went to,
Were they inside?
there were several inside. I think all the dance venues were
Yeah.
inside.
Right. at that point,
There was
yeah.
one for like music of the 50s and 60s.
Oh, wow.
You know, and Charlie Sullivan from the Historical Commission was there at that. It was fun seeing him. And then I went to one with swing and jazz music.
So where
over
were
in
they?
That
In
was
which part
the
of the
Walker
university?
Memorial was where they had the
Oh, Walker
swing and
Memorial, okay.
the swing and jazz
That's right.
music.
Well, sort of near.
And a lot of food, drink for everybody.
Really?
No charge, you know.
Well,
And in fact, it was open to
on
anybody.
this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one over at the Sale, where the Sale Calder sculpture is, that's over by the Green Building. For those who know the MIT campus is where they had the 50s and 60s. But they had several other sites around the campus as well. And it was great. And everybody had a great time.
That's
So
nice.
I felt very happy to be an
Very
employee of
upset
MIT.
that I missed that. Yeah, because you didn't have to be an employee to go to this, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
No, it was a wonderful, wonderful time, you know. So, so anyway, I actually found myself just sort of I felt like I was being swept over with
Yeah.
gratitude for living in
Yeah.
a city with
Right.
employees who I have a lot of respect for.
Right, from the city end to then
And then
where you're
MIT,
educated. And,
where you know.
yeah.
I mean, it was interesting. There was when they would rearrange the letters. There were actually several moments when they rearranged them back to Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and
Yeah.
the crowd would roar,
Yeah.
like with pride. It was great.
It's
actually.
definitely a great addition to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
city.
yeah. So anyway, wonderful weekend all around. You know, culminating in I guess which is sort of the more boring end of things, which was coming back to Sullivan Chamber last night
Oh,
at City
yeah.
Council, which
Yeah,
we'll certainly talk
after
some
all
more about
that.
that in the second half hour.
Yeah,
But That was quite interesting. Actually, I think in the interim, it was discussed at the city council meeting, was a rather big development with the Green Line extension.
Oh, that all happened,
Well,
there was the meeting between
There was
Mayor Curtatone and...
There was a big press release, I think on
Yeah.
Friday,
Right, because that was in
from
the paper on
Joe
Saturday.
Curtatone, Mayor
Yeah.
of Somerville, and Richie Rossi, City Manager of Cambridge, of a major financial commitment from the
Pledging money,
cities.
yeah.
And it's not just out of the city coffers, let's be clear about it. It's the city in combination with some developers who are developing property, like in North Point, which is both Cambridge and Somerville.
Oh, is that the 25 million is not just from the city?
No, it's some from the city,
I see.
and that needs to be negotiated with the city council.
Okay.
But also a certain amount of input, and they're going to try and get even more if they can from
Somerville's putting more and saying more, but it impacts that community
I mean,
too.
this is huge for Somerville. There are
Right.
5 new stations
Square, right,
proposed.
exactly,
Cambridge
yeah.
would just get Leechmere,
Right,
right? And plus the benefit of
Right.
Union Square, which is
right.
practically on Cambridge's
Yeah.
border. So Cambridge was putting up 25 million, Somerville 50 million. I think Medford may be putting up something, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, now that they said it wasn't going to go that far.
Right, but so that may come
but
later.
eventually, yeah, it'll come later. I heard her today also.
Yeah, but it was a rare moment
Yeah.
where you actually had a little bit of hope that maybe we could actually plan and think and cooperate regionally for change.
Yeah.
There's a concept. And,
Yeah.
and then this rolled around. So by the time Monday was happening, not only was there the city council meeting where this was an agenda item specifically, but also there were the hearings in front of the the state, is it
Transportation.
DOT as well as the
Correct, yeah.
MAPC Fiscal Advisory Board. And they it's a little complicated, but basically they could have just sort of killed the project right then and there, but they basically said, let's move forward, and again, I think this was somewhat influenced.
Streamlined, but
Yeah. And maybe it's not the $3 billion plan, it'll be a little bit less, which is fine by me.
everyone said that was outrageous.
It was, they're going to rebid some of this, and maybe the bids will come in more favorably. But there was a somewhat positive vote, sort of approval to move forward with contingencies.
On the city council, you mean?
No, this was actually from the
Oh,
state.
from the state. Oh, yeah, that's right.
officials.
Yes.
So anyway, let's be hopeful.
Yes.
It
yeah.
really does
It wasn't
matter.
knocked down, but it was, it's still alive.
Yeah, and there's some specific things I certainly want to talk about, but we can do that in the next half hour or so. Anyway, we're down to our last few, so until 3 minutes from now, this has been Cambridge Inside
Out.